Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UKLC for the second game of the day. We're going to have Darkspawn Gaming taking on Barrage Esports. So I'm very excited to go into this game as we think this is going to be one of the closer games today. And this is two teams who didn't make it out of the round of 8 yet last week, and now they get a chance to actually come up, and one of these teams will make it into the round of 4.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity because I think both were unhappy with how week 1 went. I think Barrage had some roster issues due to Barty only being away. He is now back. They have also made a change. Nutri's moved out from Eddie Carey, and Jack Mack has moved in. Also changes for Darkspawn because they now have Fast Leg stepping in for Vigo. So a lot of changes across the board, but I think overall we've put these teams pegged fairly evenly, especially when we saw Darkspawn have a lot of life against Fnatic, who by all means were a very strong team last week, and Darkspawn still showed some power. Yeah,
the rookie team with the rookie players definitely came up big versus Fnatic. They didn't actually come out as the victor, unfortunately, but this is their chance to really prove their worth and try and climb their way up that tower a little bit higher, because they're currently, both of these teams, sitting on 0 points in the scoreboard, so there's at least 1 point available to them, and if they can climb up higher, and even if they can get to that tower challenge, even more points available to them.
I think a lot of the opinion is the 0 point teams, it's quite interchangeable where people rank them in terms of strength. I think it's hard to judge, especially since they obviously had different opponents last week. I think this will be a good measurement of how the teams rank up against each other, because, I mean, I expect it to be close, but maybe it won't be. We've got to see how well Barrage come out now that they have their primary support back, and whether the lack of Vigo really affects Darkspawn, because it could do, or whether their power level is just, you know, what we'd expect and they're fairly evenly matched.
What's really exciting about this game is we're seeing a lot more of these teams use those flexible rosters, because a lot of the teams come in with more subs. Previously in the UK scene, maybe 1 sub, maybe 2 subs max, but every team is running at least 2 subs at this point. So it's quite exciting, as that was definitely the fun game.
Yeah, and I think teams have approached it in different ways. We have the likes of Exile and Phelan, who have their full 10-man rosters. We expect to see them regularly interchange.
Same with Fnatic as well.
Yeah, same with Fnatic. I think they haven't discussed it as much. I'd love to see Reckless come into the UK scene. Don't know how likely it's going to be. Maybe on this patch you would just smurf on everyone. But, I mean, regardless, I think some teams are definitely more strictly like sticking to 1 or 2 roles where they switch, and I think that's what's happened with Barrage. I think the reason they brought Jack and Maka in is they felt that Bartion and Jack and Maka worked better as a duo. Yeah. And so I think they're trying to put some strength back in that bot lane, and hopefully it shows up, because I think that was the big strength for me from Darkspawn. Their jungler was great, but I think their bot lane really shone quite a bit when they had their match against Fnatic.
Well, we're through into picks and bans, and Zoe, Lucian are going to be our first 2 bans, followed up by a Yasuo here from Barrage. So we're going to see what is next for Darkspawn.
Yeah, I think Zoe makes a lot of sense. I think that's really a strong champion for Beely. I think he's also pretty solid on Lysandra, so it wouldn't surprise me to see, maybe not in the first rotation, but that a later ban. And then I think red side, we're still seeing that standard Lucian Cassiopeia ban. It's not changed. The thing is, you have more flexibility because you don't have to ban Akali. Yeah, she's out of the game now.
Same with Aurelia as well. I mean,
thankfully.
They were fun. They were fun for a while, and then I was like, I don't want to play them anymore, but I don't want to play against them.
Yeah, and we will see very quickly the Airgot come in for Artorias' first pick. Unsurprising, but fast. Sejuani come in, and I'm not certain that's jungle. I think it should be, but there is the possibility to play Sejuani top.
Okay.
It's a very fringe thing, but it has some strength since they up the base damages. I would expect it to be jungle, but I'm not 100% certain. The Thresh, however, I am certain that's support.
That's jungle.
He has smite.
Yeah, you see, I mean, guaranteed fresh jungle at this point.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the rotation coming out here, that's a Karthus.
That is a Karthus. Okay.
I was, forget everything I said.
I mean, Camille could play it, but they could also run it jungle here. It would be in Camille's kind of wheelhouse, as he kind of likes to play a little bit further back in the lane, and Karthus allows him to do that.
So this is really interesting because they picked a Jace as well, which is again another weird flex. You can't actually play it jungle, you can't play it top, you can't play it mid, you can't play it AD carry. It's a very versatile flex, so really no idea where it's going. The Karthus, I would like to say it's going jungle because it's good into the Sejuani. She's not the most aggressive early jungler, so the Karthus will do fine. And that's a Draven.
That's a kill lane.
That is a speciality from Flit. He is a Draven player. We're just seeing spicy picks coming across the board. That is a sort of pick that says, we want to punish your bot lane.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to be aggressive early on the Draven. He's a champion that wants to get snowballing. If he sits back on his laurels, can kind of get outscaled, so wants to just snowball the game out of control, get that passive, get that cash in, like you said, and got a fresh with him, Flirt and Fast Leg. I am going to be intensely watching this lane.
Yeah, and it shows a lot of confidence for Fast Leg to be subbed in, didn't play the first week, and they're confident enough to take this very aggressive kill lane without even seeing what Barrage are going to offer. Because for all we know, the Jace could be mid, the Urgot could be top, Karthus jungle. They could have picked nothing off the bot lane yet and have something in mind. But I think a big tell was the Caitlyn ban. Caitlyn is a good matchup into Draven because just the massive range difference means you can't really take off as much as you'd like to. So it makes sense that they took that one away, and now just punishing the rest of the bot lane champion pool. They've won a good matchup for this Draven and Thresh. That's why they went into it. And the big thing as well is that you still get one more counter pick on red side, and the question's going to be, where will Darkspawn put that?
Curious to see where they put it, whether or not they put a lot more emphasis on Beely, or if they put it on Akers. So I kind of semi-expect them to go for a top lane pick here and give Beely freedom. Yeah,
what's interesting to me is they didn't ban away the Scion, because we've talked about how we see Urgot Scion all the time. I feel like if I was Darkspawn, you could take the Scion here and have the solid front line, and then, as they do, and that gives a fairly safe matchup into the Urgot. So I probably would have preferred them to ban that away. I think by the fact that jungle bans came out, they thought that it would be a top lane Sejuani.
Yes.
But I think now with the Scion being locked in, you have to assume the Sejuani is going jungle. So I guess they just baited out 2 free jungle bans for nothing.
Very comfortable there for Darkspawners. Looking at what Barrage are going to be looking to pick up, they go for the Ezreal, so that's going to go in the AD role. But
it probably will. The thing I'm worried about is Draven is good into Ezreal. You know,
yeah.
You just run up to him and throw axes at his face. He's not going to have a fun time. Jack and Hacker fresh in this week, first week of the UKLC. He's put himself in for a tricky one. Question is, what are they going to round out with in terms of support? And it's going to be a Tahm Kench, which it makes sense. It's a very defensive lane. The issue is you have nothing to offer in return.
Yeah.
If you walk up to the Draven as Tahm Thresh, he will mid you. Tahm Thresh? I'm losing my mind.
I was like, where are we going with this? Is this a new champ?
No.
The tongue is a hook.
Tahm Kench can't walk up because they will kill him.
Yeah, because like if you're in this lane at this point, you don't hook Ezreal. Yeah. Because he either Arcane shifts away, and if it does land, Tahm Kench just gobbles him up.
But you don't need to, because Draven just throws axes. That's all you do. Draven wins trades against the Ezreal, and if Tahm Kench gets involved, all he can do is save you from the hooks coming out from the Thresh. You can't stop the poke.
I mean, those axes are going to hurt, because Draven's axes are probably the size of Ezreal each.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they're
pretty close.
They're pretty close. When he's got them like on full spin mode, and they're like all the way out and unfolded, they're pretty big.
They are pretty impressive. We'll see a Syndra from Beely to round out a comp, something he's confident on, and I think just fine into the Jace. One issue though, short range later on, that Jace will be able to poke her out. And the crucial thing with the poke from this composition is that you have the Karthus as well. If you get low, you can't just expect that to be it. You are going to get Karthus ulted, and we've seen how devastating that can be. Yeah,
Requiem's really, really big. Now, we've talked a little bit about the bot lane matchup. We have our expectations of what we want Darkspawn to do and what they need to do if they want to win this lane. Top lane is a Scion Urgot, so, I mean, we've probably made those points 100 times. Yep. Let's talk a little bit about this mid lane. What are we looking at in this lane?
Well, I think there's a lot of strength that comes out from the Jace in the early levels, and I think Syndra's a good pick into that because you have the CC to provide that, to fight against that. I think one issue would be that there's no ganking jungler on the side of the Jace. The Karthus isn't going to come mid and help. Whereas if the Sejuani comes in mid lane and helps the Syndra out, they have enough CC to take the Jace down. So I think Cromwell can't play with complete freedom here, but I don't think it should be too difficult for him because Jace has an okay time clearing up waves. You just got to be concerning if the junglers start to show up, that's where you really need to get out there.
And I mean, when you've got the Karthus and the Ezreal on the same team, as this game gets later, the damage is going to get really, really nasty. So is there a point where Darkspawn need to make sure that they have control? And is there a point where like Barrage just, you know, they want to put the brakes on until that point and then look to kind of control the game from there?
I think the thing is that Draven tends to prioritize lifesteal early on. I think if you get him ahead, then as long as you close the game up before it goes super late game, he will, anyone who comes near him, 1 or 2 autos and they have to back off.
Well, we are ready to get into our second game of the day, Darkspawn taking on Barrage. I believe first we are going to bring up the rosters though. So starting up is Barrage, Notorious in the top lane. Definitely not in the top lane at the moment. There we go. Let's look at Darkspawn. Akers, Peter 5, Beely, Flirt and Fast Legs going to be on the side of Darkspawn. Again, this is, you know, this rookie roster with these rookie players all kind of want to prove their worth here.
But confident, they're coming in with this Draven 80 carry. Flirt, it is something that he likes to play. It is his go-to solo queue pick, and he's bringing it out on the stage where he wants to perform against Barrage. And this is a big game for both these teams because either of them could take it. And it would be their first win of the UKLC.
All right, well, we are on to the Summoner's Rift. Man, I was expecting Karthus Jungle last week. We got it this week.
Yeah, and I think the big thing, the reason it was picked here is the matchup in the Sejuani. I think they assumed the Sejuani would go jungle, even though they were a bit hesitant. That's why they threw those later bans. But Sejuani isn't the sort of jungler who's going to find you in your jungle and solo kill you. Which is what you're scared of as a Karthus early. I mean, you essentially just want to farm to 6, and then you press that coveted R key.
And what's actually really interesting about Karthus Jungle is with the jungle items, obviously you get that bonus mana regen. So you don't need to go into like the tier build like you would if you were mid lane. So you actually hit your power spike a lot faster on the Karthus Jungle. Now, the catch to that is you can't do the classic Karthus move of basically flashing into the enemy team with the Eon and then just Zhonya's in the middle of the team.
Yeah, you just run out of mana by the time it's over. And then they can just ignore you. They don't have to kill you. They just leave you alive.
Because if they kill you, you get mana back. And then that's when you Requiem. So it's a very different playstyle to the mid lane Karthus, but he does have exceptionally fast clear.
Yeah. I mean, I think, for me, I feel like Barrage's comp is sort of focused on waiting for those late game, that spike with the Karthus. But my concern is that they don't have that great of a front line. And sure, like, you might not necessarily need that if you find the good poke. Like, they have great poke on their composition. But if a poke comp falls behind, you're really going to be in trouble. And I expect to see Darkspawn make moves to try and facilitate that. I want to see aggression in this bot lane. So far, Bartiono has been doing fine, just landing these tongue lashes onto Fastleg.
Yeah, Flirt looking for that level 2 mark, seeing when they can go aggressive. Now it's been hit. This is the point where Barrage's bot lane do need to play with a lot of respect. They have hit 2 themselves, so Jakamaka most likely just leveling E for safety.
I would hope so.
Or safety.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, gotta be safe.
I feel like you don't appreciate my jokes.
Oh, that was a joke? Oh my. I expect better from you.
I know. And to be fair, I'm capable of better, so I'm actually disappointed in myself.
That was really, it took me so long to get that. It was just so bad. It's not even like one of those obviously, oh, okay, haha. It's just like.
I feel like you're a little bit slow to the punch, but let's drop that for the moment. Let's forget about that as we do look towards these junglers here. It's good.
We've actually seen a massive farm advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
So
big old CS lead over PFI.
He's power farming. He's looking for that late game power spike from Karthus. And you know, why not? That's what you do on Karthus, you farm it up. I think the question is going to be, what can PFI do in the early levels to try and sort of justify the fact that he's let Scudzy just power farm through his jungle. And the thing is, it's difficult to find opportunity gank because mid lane has cleanse, although without that it would be a fairly easy target. Top lane is okay because it's a long lane, but it has to be in the right position. And bot lane has a Tahm Kench. So not the greatest gank opportunities, but they could find it. And it looks like he will head towards bot lane. I think they need to land that CC on the Tahm Kench, go aggressive on him. If it's on the Ezreal, it's just not going to work. But one crucial thing is there's already a big CS lead come out in this bot lane.
Yeah, definitely seeing Flirt looking very comfortable on this pick. Like you said, it is one of his pocket picks.
And they do actually find him. He has to be dead here.
Going to go down. First blood picked up by PFI, so not actually going to be given to Flirt, so he can't cash in on those admiration stacks quite yet.
I just think it's great to show that advantage. They were pushing the wave in. This is crucial as well because Ezreal is behind in CS, but he's looking to collect this big wave. Because his support has died, he's not going to be able to do that very easily. It's just a really difficult situation because as soon as you walk up for a CS, Draven's going to throw an axe in your face.
And what's so sad about that is we saw Scudzy try to invade to steal some camps away, but
he is getting the
he does get the chickens, yes.
But so he does get something. And that's what you got to do as Carters. When you know the jungler's on the other side, you have to try and take advantages where you can, because you basically said to your team, I'm going to do nothing for a while, wait till I'm level 6. And look at the difference in items already in the bot lane. BF sword coming out from Flirt. I think if Jakamaka recalls, I think he might be able to afford a Sheen. I'm not sure, because I feel like if you don't go the Sheen, you're really forfeiting the lane. But you also do want to stack up your tier as soon as possible. So not a great situation regardless.
Well, Akers takes a serious chunk there from Artorias.
Gotta care if Virgo hits at level 6 soon. He just hit it!
He has got it, but tower shots are going to come forward. Akers playing with a lot of respect. Artorias can just flash R if he wants.
He doesn't quite have the mana right now, though. I think using that mana to clear the wave cost him the ability to use his ult. But did force Akers to wait a bit longer for that recall and miss quite a bit of CS, so gotta give it a positive there, getting the small advantages. Barrage gonna need them, because they're 500 gold behind in total. And that's even with the farm differential in the jungle. So even though there's that massive lead on the Scudzy because of all that farm picked up, they're still considerably behind because of that First Blood and the difference in bot lane. And if you look at the control that's now available for Darkspawn, like there's no reprieve from there. The Karthus can't just walk into lane and sort this wave out because he's a Karthus. It doesn't work like that. So Barrage's bot lane are really at the whim of Darkspawns, and it's just not a great situation to be in. And I like to see that they're controlling the wave in this way. And now PFI is coming down as well, so when the wave crashes, they're gonna look for a kill. They're gonna look to force them off.
Yeah, PFI doesn't have ultimate, but Flirt this time with about 120 of those admiration stacks. If he can find this kill, this lane will just run out of control. But Artorias going in, throws the ultimate down onto Akers, slowing him down, forces the ultimate out of Akers. He's just going to run underneath his tower to safety.
Gets his flash, so that's a big point, but wasn't able to find enough damage to take him down. Crucially, if Scudzy had channeled the what's it called again?
Requiem.
Requiem. I just slipped my mind. If Scudzy had channeled the Requiem, I think that could have been enough damage to pop the ult there. So maybe a bit of lack of communication where you could have found a kill, but at the end of the day, do manage to get the flash from Akers there.
We definitely predicted this to be a bit of a closer game coming into it, but for the moment, you see, at least from the draft, Darkspawn have given themselves a very comfortable bot lane matchup. The top lane is in favor of Barrage as the hook does land onto the Kench. Do have that stand aside. Barciono takes
so much damage though, just from that
big chunk of damage.
Hook. And you can see Jakamaka did opt to go for the Sheen because as much as it's nice to pick up your tier, I think that would have conceded too much pressure in lane. Actually, see the gank come in mid lane.
You can see everyone's coming in. Beely unleashes power onto Camille. Camille's going to live for the moment. Scudzy does have that Requiem available, and Beely desperately trying to heal up for the moment as Scudzy's just going to take a step back, unleashes the Requiem. Beely's going to heal up, and he is fine. Nobody goes down on the side of Darkspawn. And what's key about that is the the mana-giving rune from Precision. Won't proc here.
Yeah.
Presence of Mind, thank you. Won't proc the Presence of Mind, so...
Won't reduce the cooldown, but also just using that long cooldown in the early game and not getting anything from it. It was good moves from Beely to instantly head towards his bot lane. I think even without the Honey Fruit, the Lantern from Thresh would have saved him, but put himself in a good protected position, and things still in favor of Darkspawn overall.
Godlake's a little chunked here, taking a few too many Qs.
Oh, they just missed that cannon. That was not nice to see. We will back off, and
he's just sending a message. He's like, I don't even need
it. This CS lead has grown so much in the bot lane. Almost, well, it's going to go away slightly because Jackmark is picking up those few minions in the tower, but at about 25, if Draven cashes in as well, it's going to be a scary situation for this Ezreal. Going for that Infinity Edge first item, most likely, and that's going to put some big crits down.
Yeah, he's working his way up towards that. It's man, if Scudzy didn't have blue buff, this would be a very, very painful camp to clear.
But he does.
But he does, so it's fine.
And PFI, good guy, going to give over the blue buff to Beely. Give him some extra help in the mid lane. Which has been fairly, apart from that gank, that little trade early on, not much has really happened in the mid lane. Both mid laners just happy to farm up in the matchup. But we do see Darkspawn now trying to establish control in the area. And this is where things could really turn in the favor of Darkspawn, because if Beely's able to play with confidence, he'll be in a good situation. However, if you just look at the minimap, a lot of blue side control on the top side of the map, a lot of red side control on the bottom side of the map, and it shows where the teams are putting their focus. Scudzy's heading up, and he might actually, well, he's going to take that Scuttle Crab. I think if you know PFI's bot lane, if he shows, you could just potentially do that Rift Herald by yourself. Maybe get Ergot to move down to help you finish it off. Because you've got to expect Darkspawn to put a lot of attention down here.
Well, PFI does have that R available. Fastleg makes itself known in the bot lane as PFI still hanging about. They are looking for it. 4 members strong. Jackamaka doesn't know what's about to hit him. In comes Beely and PFI. They're going to jump straight in. Fastleg goes golden for the moment. Flirt does have the Whirling Death available. The ultimate does connect and it's going to clear through. That's one on the Flirt and one back on the Beely. 2 kills to Darkspawn.
So well played from Fastleg. Went in with complete confidence, uses the stopwatch to drop aggro, and then they just balanced it between them, and crucially, Flirt gets the kill. They're also getting all this tower plating. I mean, sure, Scudzy's headed over to pick up this Rift Herald, but look what they lose in return.
I mean, he has so low mana. Does have Smite, so he's able to get it, but first turret blood's going to go to Darkspawn. Gold lead now accelerating here versus Barrage, and it's starting to get a little bit rougher for this team.
I mean, this Draven, I think they're going to head towards the Dragon first. They're making this play mid because of the Rift Herald and the Tom Kenshall, so whatever I was going to say has been caught off. They should be able to take this down here, although Darkspawn are moving to defend. They get at least 2 of the platings, so a fair amount of gold in return. Yeah. Aren't able to finish it off though, so I was wrong, as usual.
It's going to go down. Aka's making his way down. He's hanging about with that teleport not available quite yet, and the rest of the team are closing in. That's going to be the Requiem. Fastleg gets healed up. Artorias throws the ultimate down onto Beely.
Oh,
he's going to be able to get him. The Fibion Death goes down, and Barrage get a kill in a turret.
And Artorias doing his little flex. Managed to take out not just the fact that it's a member of Darkspawn, but crucially, they take out the wave clear, so they're going to try and push another turret here. Minion wave is falling, but with 5 members, they may well just be able to take this.
Yeah, this could be a massive turnaround here for Barrage as they take 2 turrets down. And close that gold gap. Just 700.
So disastrous. They were so far behind. And in that one play, they've massively managed to caught up. We'll get to see the gold there. Oh, still a massive disadvantage between the 80 carries. But in every other lane, bar bot, they're ahead. I mean, this was the crucial thing, is that they have this poke, they group as 5, they land a Shock Blast, and then the ult and the Requiem connect, and then this is crucial from Artorias. That last Q, just enough. And the big thing is, Beely is the wave clear. He's the one who has stopped this push from happening. And then as a result, they're just able to get a second tower, which completely equalizes the game.
And what we also missed there was Beely stood still to cast his E to send Artorias back, which then meant he stood still for the Q to actually connect.
Yep. Artorias played 3D chess with him.
That came out ahead.
Yep, came out ahead. But still, Darkspawn are ahead of gold. Even after that looks so disastrous, they also managed to pick up an Ocean Drake, which in the early levels is a great one to have, especially on champions like Draven who do have mana issues if you start to spam your axes and your Blood Rush. So I'm still feeling confident, especially this Draven has the Infinity Edge, got a bit of lifesteal. I think that's a crucial thing because the risk is you get poked down, you're going to be useless. Having that Vamp Scepter means that isn't really as much of a threat. But still, one crucial thing that I'm worried about is look at the mid lane. Look at Beely just standing out in the middle of nowhere. You have a Tom Hench, I keep butchering his name.
Tom Hench.
It's
because he's hench in this game,
if a Tom Hench, very hench ult comes behind Beely, he's not going to be in a fun situation.
Interesting about Draven's build is he doesn't actually need as much crit as the other kind of crit ADs. Sorry, attack speed as the other crit ADs. So he can actually go Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, and then like an Essence Reaver, and just have ridiculous damage on all of his auto attacks as long as he's got the spinning axes on him.
I mean, I think the Essence Reaver would be a good pickup. I mean, I don't see a ton of Draven, but you could go Berserker Greaves here. You could then go the Essence Reaver. However, I think he's likely to go towards the Rapid Fire Cannon, just because clearly the extra auto range means you can put a lot of damage in. I mean, we're talking about that. Barrage are taking towers bot lane. They're grouping up and just showing strength to their comp, despite the fact they fell behind bot lane.
It's exactly what we saw at Darkspawn versus Fnatic Rising at the beginning of last week. They had a strong early, and then this transitional phase fell a little bit weak for them, and they weren't able to transition into the mid game.
I mean, one crucial thing is look at the jungle CS difference. I mean, the gold isn't massive, but Scudsy's been power farming on this Karthus, and he's going to become such a threat later on.
Almost level 11 as well.
That's
so
the thing is that
they're level 8 on PFI.
When you get to a position where you can just poke out Darkspawn, it doesn't matter how strong they are, because they won't even get a chance to team fight. All they're going to do is just fire, you know, poke from the Ezreal, the Jace, and look for the opportunity where one of their executes is going to take someone out.
Well, PFI wanted to steal away the red buff, but was unable to for the moment. As Akers does have that teleport available to him. And Darkspawn now trying to group up here, maybe looking for a pick. PFI does have that Glacial Prison, if he can find an opening.
I think they should just get the tower here. Pings are coming out for assistance from Barrage. They don't quite get it, and they do have to back off. And now the threat is that poke.
Good dodge by Flirt, though.
That was a big crit. See how much he healed from that as well. That was 780 damage. Sure, it was on a minion, but still, I would not want to take one of those. And that's the risk. If one of those crits connects on someone squishy, you lose a team fight.
He's fine. Look at that heal.
A lot of sustain, and that's why Draven's going to work well against these poke comps. The issue is, though, he does lack that range. So against something like an Ezreal or a Jace, you can't really contest with that poke. As soon as the team fight starts, once you get that engage, this Draven's just going to soar through everything that comes near him.
I mean, luckily for Darkspawn for the moment, the Ezreal did have a pretty tough laning phase. So it's only sitting on that Iceborne and the Tear versus the Draven, but is closing in on this Bloodthirster, which is two very, very expensive items onto the Draven. And his build does start to get a little bit cheaper beyond this point.
I mean, it doesn't even matter because there's no fighting going on. Barrage is just out-rotating Darkspawn again and again and again. They constantly get into these turrets and take them down for free. They're now 4 turrets to 2. They're ahead in gold despite how badly their bot lane went. It just feels like Darkspawn don't know where to be on the map, and Barrage know exactly how to sunk Darkspawn's battleships.
See, that was just as bad as my joke.
I think it was probably worse. That was really forced.
Oh, it was terrible.
But they do know exactly where to be. They've now used this Tom Kenchel effectively. They're rotating the mid. They've got control, and Darkspawn just seem unsure of themselves, despite the fact they have this strength in this Draven. They haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, we can see another Cloud Drake is spawning up in 6 seconds' time, and Darkspawn trying to see if they can contest, but Barrage just barrage their way through and claim vision around the Drake pit. Have got Draven with them. The full 5-man roster's here. PFI has ultimate. Already a bit of damage lands onto him. That's going to be a true shot barrage onto 4 by Jackamaka. Forcing the flashes out. Bartiono throws out a tongue lash. That's going to be an ultimate going wide onto Jackamaka. And Akers exceptionally low. Here comes the Requiem. The flash away. Is anybody going to go down? The shields are huge. And Darkspawn lose nobody. But Barrage will be gifted a Cloud Drake.
It just felt like Darkspawn did nothing there. They didn't find it engaged. They didn't get on top of anyone. It felt like they were scared of Barrage, despite the fact they're ahead in gold. They should be looking for the right opportunities, but they're not confident. And Barrage are just steaming forwards, and they're now going to take another tower down, and Darkspawn are doing nothing.
Yeah, it feels like their grip on this game is starting to fall apart, as Beely is going to be able to at least clear this wave out. And Barrage will just pick up a few camps on their way through as they leave Darkspawn's jungle.
You got to ask, what are Darkspawn going to do to get back in this game? Because it didn't feel like it was lost, but they've just done so little in the past, 5-10 minutes. They have this Draven who's been strong. He's now going to build up even more adoration stacks. They need a team fight to go their way. Otherwise, things will get really tricky because the amount of damage on Barrage, when it gets later on, you're going to struggle.
If Flirt actually finds a kill, he is just going to snowball uncontrollably now. And especially if it's onto Scudzy or Cremil, because they're also worth additional gold.
If Flair finds an opportunity to auto-attack anyone. I haven't seen this guy auto-attack another champion for a long time. And that's no discredit to him. It's just Darkspawn haven't found the right team fights to facilitate that. You have this massive front line, which has a load of engage. You need to find it, and they are looking.
They're looking for the fight. That's going to be the ultimate thrown out by Akers, trying to dive underneath the tower, but the teleport is coming through. In goes the True Shot Barrage onto multiple members. Hook lands out by First Leg. That's going to be an Empowered Shock Blast, landing onto one. See, the rest of the team are going to run away. The Fear Beyond Death is going to come down, and Notorious gets himself a kill. The rest of Darkspawn are just going to have to run away. And again, forcing an engage into a tower.
It wasn't the right opportunity to look for a fight. I feel like they could have found a better chance at that dragon. Instead, they go for it on the tower. They go for it on the worst members, the Ezreal and the Tahm Kench, the safest people on Barrage. And unsurprisingly, it gets botched and they lose a member for it. And now, control of the Baron area. Barrage are looking great. Considering how badly their bot lane went, they're looking great.
And I think you can credit that as a big part of that to Artorias. He's been a very strong meat shield to get the rest of the team into a comfortable position where they've been able to force these objectives and then close that gold gap and now take control of the gold. We're 20 minutes into the game. They were down so much earlier.
But I think crucially, sometimes people, when they play Urgot, they think of him just as a meat shield, but he still makes these aggressive plays. He's found the opportunities, and he's been there to punish every time. So credit to him. Obviously, he is very tanky, especially now he's picked up that adaptive helm, but he's made the plays as well. And it looks like the top side of Barage's map have done a lot of work, and you can see from the bounties. And despite the fact that they're still 2,000 gold behind on this Ezreal, they're up by 1,500, and that's just so worrying for the rest of the team. When your AD carry is so far ahead, and yet your whole team is behind in gold. It raises a lot of questions.
Really on Flirt to be able to pull Darkspawn back into a comfortable position, but the rest of the team had to enable him. Like we saw in game 1, Yusa had incredible play around the whole team to keep him going. All of Darkspawn need to make sure that Flirt is going to be enabled in this game, as he now has that Bloodthirster and the Infinity Edge. He's going to be very hard for them to actually work their way through with the amount of lifesteal and shielding he's going to get.
This is the issue I have, is that I talked about the rapid fire, and I think the reason that would be a better option is because then you could actually auto-attack someone. Right now, Flirt's range is letting him down the most. It's just that he can't find an opportunity to hit anyone useful. And I think the Bloodthirster was a bit greedy. I mean, I can understand you want the sustain so you don't get poked out, but essentially, I can't remember the last time I saw him auto-attack a champion. It's been that long. And this guy needs to hit squishies if he wants to do something.
Beely takes a big chunk of damage. The Fear Beyond Death is going to come through, followed up by the Requiem, and once again, everybody melts.
And they don't even need to team fight. They find the poke, Beely oversteps and just gets absolutely shut down. Another great ult from Artorias. That's the power of this poke composition. They have tempo, they're ahead, and they're looking for it. However, PFI is waiting in the wings. He wants to go for a smite steal. They need vision, though.
Flirt's healed his way back up as well. He might be able to put some damage in. The rest of the team trying to close in. The standard side is there. 2k HP on the Baron. The hook's going to come out. They've got some vision. PFI misses out on the Q. He's going to come over on the wall, though. Can he steal it away? Yes, he does. He even flashes to safety. And Darkspawn get control of the game once again.
They get this steal. It's going to save them. Things are looking really dire. They had no control, but they get that Baron. Barrage run over to the Infernal Drake that's spawning now, but honestly, I think Darkspawn are going to come and contest this.
I mean, the health bars are low.
Yeah, they've just
the mana bars are low. In comes Akers, who has ultimate onto Camille. He's going to throw it down and look to chase out as Beely chasing in as well. The rest of the team just going to turn their attention back towards this Infernal Drake and further enable this team who have a very strong AD carry. Now with Baron, now with 2 items, Darkspawn are looking to try and get control of the game once again.
And let's just have a look at this again. So we see they don't do a good enough job to zone PFI out. And the issue is they have poke, but they're not using it on him. He's on a ward and they don't have the hard CC for him. And then crucially, he comes in very early, but damage still goes on to the Baron. And then I believe Scudzy just smites early, he panics, and PFI is there to capitalize. And that could turn the complete pace of this game. Things are looking dire for Darkspawn. They found a route back in because not only did they get that Baron, they almost equalized on gold, and they got an Infernal Drake. Arguably the best going into the late game.
They've even got an Ocean Drake as well, so if they want to set up for this Baron siege, they have a little bit of additional regeneration. But for the moment, just looking to reset on the map, get themselves a little bit of control, get some items under the belts as the Zeal has been picked up onto Flirt. The Manamune is now finished, and Jakamaka is working on his 2nd tier. But look at that gold lead on the AD carries.
Yeah, and the big thing is the Baron's helped to equalize in other areas. Mid isn't as dire as it was before. And in jungle, sheer 1500, but considering the farm difference, considering Scudzy's almost Flame Horizon PFI, and they're that close in gold, it's pretty crazy to see. Now a bounty onto this Draven, but still hasn't had a kill for a long time.
It's worth a lot of gold, but look at PFI over the wings. Does have that prison available.
This could turn the pace of the game. If Flirt gets a kill and cashes in, that could literally decide this game, because that is so much gold in either team's favor.
Well, you might need to keep track of him in the next few fights. If the turret will go down, the gold's going to now finally equalize out once again for Darkspawn as they're going to step away.
I mean, we said this one would be close. We said it'd be close. I didn't think it'd be like this, but it's close.
Look at PFI, does have that R. Flirt's also waiting in the wings.
The engage comes in.
They're coming in. That's going to be the knockup from Akers onto one for the moment. Bartiona gets himself the engage, but that's going to be on under Camille. Beely's going to chase out as Flirt is still in the fight, still full HP, trying to work them through. The Whirly Death is coming down. The shutdown is massive for Flirt, and a hook comes through, flays him back, and that's going to be another kill there. In comes the Requiem, and members are going to die. Double kill picked up for Scudzy.
I mean, it looked bad, but the ult from Scudzy turns around. Checkmate! From Scudzy on this Cartus, but still, crucially, the cash-in came from Flip, but fight's still going on here.
Well, Flirt's coming in comes PFI as well, has those slows available and the Arctic Assault, trying to land onto Bartiona, the flash forward, and Akers finds himself a kill. Now Flirt's just running aggressively at Camille, gets slowed up, but with that Bloodthirst, he can just heal his way back up, get himself a shield. And Baron has worn out for Darkspawn now, but Camille has to be so careful into this team comp, as he does have that take to the skies available.
I would not take it. I would not take it.
I would if Notorious is there.
Yeah, well, the engage comes in.
Flirt's trying to chunk through them, and that's just going to be Akers going down. Notorious is chasing for more here as he purges inwards. Does need to be a little bit careful, as Flirt can do a lot of damage. Has two axes on the go.
I think Darkspawn should just back off and recall. Flirt is probably got...
Akers?
Never mind, if Artorias is going to step up, then you take that chance.
Lantern comes out onto Beely, the stun's there. A lot of damage he's soaking up for the moment, but Flirt is going to be on a killing spree at this point.
And I just want to see how much gold this Draven has. I mean, I think he's going to recall now. Finish.
That's a rapid fire, easy.
Yeah, you could probably get another item on top of that. I think he's actually going to pick up more gold now from the jungle, because he's so close to not only finishing the rapid fire, but getting another item on top of that. This Draven is the problem. He is going to have to be dealt with by Barrage if they want to win these team fights. And the problem is he has such a great front line to provide protection. I mean, we're now going to see him shop. Let's see what he picks up.
Oh, this is the most exciting bit of my day. Seeing what a 3-0 Draven is going to buy.
So
he's just waiting.
He's thinking. He's contemplating.
Yeah,
finishes a rapid fire. Now what next? More crit, I think, would be a good idea. Or maybe defensive would be...
He might go Last Whisper to cut through Artorias.
I don't think you need to. I think the Hexstring can make sense to me. I'm surprised you can't afford the more straight out, but it means that you don't have the threat from the Cart Assault.
But what it does mean is he can't take Phantom Dancer anymore, because it is a shared passive now.
Don't think he's too bothered with that. I don't think he's going to stack that much attack speed. I would have personally been interested. I don't know, because can't see his gold right now. Maybe he could have just bought a GA outright. That would have been my go-to if I was playing Draven right now. Like a GA. Why not? But
maybe bought a pot. He has a pot ticking.
I mean, he's confident. He knows his next team fight's going to be a big one. Baron up in 30 seconds. Next Drake's an Ocean, not too big of a priority, but I think Flirt's just going to go down and solo it.
It's a great Drake for Darkspawn to pick up, because if this Baron dance comes out, they can use mana and not worry about it.
Look at those crits.
Chunking through the Baron.
And the crucial thing is that mana cost can be a big issue for Draven. Double Ocean really rectifies that. Does give Barrage posture on the Baron area. The positioning, looking for a fight and some poke. But Darkspawn are going to shove him mid and then try and move over. You can see Scudzy now has to move in to pick up the wave. This gives Darkspawn a window. My only concern is Beely has been poked out. Oh, engage comes in.
Comes in from PFI. That's the hook coming down, and the Whirling Death secures a shutdown. The Requiem is going to come forward well as Artorias throws out the ultimate onto one. PFI's tanking it up as they're running away as Fastlake throws a hook at PFI. Will go down as Jakamaka picks him up. A 1-for-1 trade, and in comes the Empowered Shock Blast. Beely might be in for a bit of trouble. Gonna get jumped out. Oh, he loses so much HP, and it's a double kill for the red buff.
Oh, just great plays from Jakamaka. This is someone who struggled throughout this game, but he's finding the windows back in, and Beely is punished. That looked really favorable for Darkspawn, but they managed to get back in still, though. This Draven is alive and a menace.
Yeah, they have to be concerned about that. That was a 1,200 crit onto a minion.
That's a lot.
That is That is a lot of HP.
And the thing is, when you look at champions like, well, I mean, Ezreal has a bit of armor from the Gauntlet, but the Jace has, like, none. So he's not going to quite do 1200, but he's going to do a lot with those crits. It's such a difficult situation. The only one who can feasibly tank him for any amount of time is Artorias, and even then, I don't think he wants to.
All right, well, we are going to see Flirt just basing up here for the moment.
Let's see what he buys. He did get a shutdown there onto Scudzy, as well as cashing in again. Has opted towards that Last Whisper. The penetration is good on Draven.
It's really big now that Infinity Edge doesn't give you like a percentage of true damage.
Yeah.
A lot of ADs, especially crit ones, will require to have a little bit more pen.
I mean, crucially is the fact that Draven's axes, they benefit from armor penetration, but they don't. The damage the axe provides, like the Q ability, doesn't benefit from crit.
Yes.
So I can understand from that perspective, you want some more sustained damage. You still will have the big crits, and should be able to cut through Artorias a bit sooner. And it shows how Darkspawn want to fight these team fights. They want to go front line against front line and just let Flirt cut through that Urgot, because essentially there's no one else who can withstand him. And the Urgot's not going to last that long, especially with this Last Whisper picked up, which is why you can see them posture him as a 5-man. They are protecting their carries. And there's none who are going to carry more than this Draven.
Yeah, we have to keep our eyes on Camille because he is able to chunk out Beely. Might be able to do a similar thing to Flirt. As PFI throws the ultimate down, that's going to be onto Artorias. They're looking to chase up as he's running away. In comes Akuz with the ultimate into the midst of the fight. Now Darkspawn are forced to try and run away as the damage is coming forward. The True Shot Barrage lands onto Flirt as powered up with a Shock Blast. A hook lands, unleashing power is going to come down and a 2-man stun follows out by Beely. But Flirt gets chunked. The Requiem's coming through. He has to heal up, but the shields are coming up massive. And Artorias is trying to chase up for the kill, but Flirt is going to be able to peel away as Standaside comes out and Darkspawn are just going to make their way up. The shield by Fastleg is enough to keep them up, and Darkspawn lose nobody.
But crucially, Barrage going to head straight to that Baron. Flip managing to survive just because of the Hex Trinket. They have to get that quick.
This is fine for them, though. The Requiem is going to be on cooldown for the Baron contest. They don't have the Fear Beyond Death for a little bit as well.
There's no one good to tank it as well. Crucially, we talk about these Scion teams. They can tank the Baron for so long. You can't do that with Barrage because as soon as you start taking damage from it, there's a massive threat that a Draven pops over the wall and just one crits you.
I actually believe Fastleg's Lantern just saved the game for Darkspawn.
I think it might well have.
The red buff was ticking on PFI. He would have died. And if he died, there would have been no way to contest the Baron.
I think they might have still tried to fight it.
I
know there would have been no other way to steal, but they definitely want to try to fight it. They do it so fast with this Draven, he absolutely shreds. The problem is they're in a really difficult position.
He only has one axe at the moment.
They're in such a bad position for when the poke comes in. You can see Beely already getting hit out here. This could be dire.
That's going to be the true shot. Camille takes one auto attack and gets chunked 1/3 of his HP as Scatter the Week's not going to land. Akka's now tanking up the Shock Blast. Baron is just going to reset and Beely can get the Honey Fruit to heal up. Now Barrage, what are they looking to do now?
As soon as possible, Warmogs on these tanks from Darkspawn because they are soaking so much poke. It's literally their job at this point in the game. Just block the poke. That is their function.
They do have the 2 Oceans, at least.
Does help. Definitely helps Beely, who has no real built-in sustain. What a crit! That's a lot.
1,300.
I would not want to get hit by one of those. And he's still not full build. I mean, that's the crucial thing, is that the Draven's passive gives him extra gold, but once you're full build...
Infernal.
That's not really relevant. Yeah, they're heading over the Infernal. It looks like Scudzy's going to do it, but they'll head straight to that Baron.
They do have Tahm Kench to ult them in. Look at that. Tahm Kench is staying with Scudzy to make sure that he can ult them out. But Scudzy, very, very slow, and they're going to have to pull it out. In comes a True Shot Barrage. Down goes Artorias, and Camille is on the sidelines with Jakamaka. 5 members strong. There is a Requiem. Not available quite yet for Scudzy, so that poke is going to come purely from Camille for the moment. Half HP onto the Baron Nashor, and they're trying to get it out, but Akaz is just tanking up so much for the team, and Darkspawn get their second Baron of the game.
I mean, the thing is, without Artorias, there is no one to tank the Draven. No one can walk towards him because one auto attack just either kills you or forces you out of the team fight. And now, not only do they get Baron, they're gonna make a push while Darkspawn, while Barrage is weakened. And that poke from the Jace is starting to do so much less at this point. Barely threatening Flared.
They're just going to push in for the base here. This could be Darkspawn actually looking to close this game out. Inhibitor is going to be focused here for the moment. Looks like it's going to go down, and Darkspawn just going to step away.
Yeah, respecting the Artorias respawn and also the fact Requiem is available again. That cooldown is crucial for Barrage to stand a chance at this point. But you're now going to see Darkspawn head back and spend, and I think a lot of big items going to come in. You see Warmog picked up for that Scion. There's one already available in Sejuani. I would like to see a Zhonya's come out from Beely, but it looks like he just didn't buy anything. I think he's going down to pick up a camp, and then he'll buy his Zhonya's. That will be crucial, because it means he's not going to get taken out by the Requiem. Full Lord Dominic's regard picked up.
You got it there in the end.
By Flair. A lot of big items. A lot of big items across the board.
Just got that mortar finish in his full build. I'm not even sure I've seen that Hex Drinker pop yet.
It did. It crucially, you know when that ult nearly killed him? The Hex Drinker was what saved him. Because he was so low, I was like, surely he dies. Hex Drinker.
It's weird though, because the shield you get from Phantom Dancer is bigger at this point in the game. I think it's like 900 at the end of the game. So at the moment, it's like a 600-700 shield.
It may be something, but the crucial thing is that you also get flat MR from the Hex Drinker and the more. And I don't think there's anything else that's as big as a threat as that Requiem. I think in a normal game, sure, maybe you might want to sell it for a Phantom Dancer later on. But here, that R is so threatening.
I mean, he already has a shield, right? He's got the Bloodthirster, so that is an option to him. But it looks like for now, they're looking to pressure out this bot lane. Beely going to clear that wave out as a PFI. There you go.
You can see the super minions pushing the top side, and this is the best lane to go. You have that exposed tower for extra gold. You have the super minions pushing in. You just need to wait for them to apply pressure, and you're in a great situation, because who will they send to contest that? Usually Artorias, but that weakens them so much when they don't have a front line.
And the wave clear is quite weak for the side of Barrage as well. I mean, you got Artorias, who needs to be pretty much in the wave.
It sucks
to be able to clear it.
I'm just going to say it sucks. Jace can't do anything here, because if you're shock blasting the waves, I mean, it does very little even to those casters. That's what all 5 members there have to use all their abilities to cut through the wave. And look at top lane. There's 2 supers coming in. They need to send someone to contest that. Darkspawn just need to play for time. They don't need to go too aggressive here.
You can also see double Warmogs has been picked up onto Darkspawn, but Beely did take a big chunk there.
Beely needs a Warmogs, to be honest.
He's got the double ocean. He's fine. Look at his regen. He's fine.
Yeah, you won't lie. That is definitely helping out here. If you're gonna have any dragons against a poke comp, you want that. But Flair actually getting quite low here.
Yeah, he can lifesteal off this wave. Look at that.
Oh, that was a lot.
That was 1 auto. 3 autos back to full HP with a shield.
Not too difficult. And
flash by Fast Lake. Instant cleanse by Artorias though. Barrage. The box is down. The HP is low on the turret, and it will fall down now as Barrage need to find some kind of opening. PFI does have his ultimate available to him. Requiem's up on Scudzy. This could just be the moment where Darkspawn push them in. It's do or die though for Barrage, as the inhibitor can take a serious chunk of damage as they're working their way through. Stun lands on. In comes the true shot. Barrage only hits PFI. You can just heal it up.
The issue is Barrage lack engage. Other than Jaeger running at them, there's no real way to stop Darkspawn from doing this. Poke is their only answer. And like I said earlier, when a poke comp falls behind, they really don't have many options. And that's the situation they've been put in now. As on top of that, they're against double ocean when they're a poke composition. This is dire for Barrage. And it's all going to go back to they had control of the game. They went for that Baron. It got stolen. And now look where they are.
Mortal's been finished, and Flirt at level 16 is at full build. Unless he wants to sell those boots. But I don't know what you sell boots for now. You can't go PD.
Maybe a Shiv.
Yeah. I actually rather like the boots.
I would argue not to. I think the movement speed's helpful.
Yeah.
Right. I think you're putting out enough damage.
Unless he goes for the big brain play here, gets an Essence Reaver, and then he has infinite mana. So then he can press W endlessly and get the Blood Rush.
I mean, in theory.
That is not the big brain play. Keep the boots. Keep the movement speed. It's too important.
Here you see Darkspawn getting control of this Elder Dragon area. The crucial thing is that they could essentially just have Flirt solo it. But for now, they're doing the weird backwards play where Flirt will push mid in, and then they'll do the Dragon as a 4-man. But it looks like Flirt's going to come in. They'll take this one out, and Barrage aren't even wanting to contest that. If they get this, it's not great, but it's not the end of the game. If Darkspawn get the Baron as well, I really see no way out for Barrage.
And I mean, it's 50 seconds. They're going to have the buff of the Elder to burn through onto this Baron. This Baron will liquefy to this team.
Absolutely. I mean, the only consolation is that they don't have a mountain as well. They're going to push up mid, and this just stops Barrage from getting any vision towards that Baron area. I mean, look at the map outside their base. It's completely dark. I don't think Darkspawn need to overcommit for this turret, but just keep the pressure here, and then Barrage get nothing.
Akers doesn't even take the WQ from Jakamaka. They've got so much wave clear here for the side of Darkspawn with the Syndra, with the Draven, but they're just mincing through these waves. 11 seconds now until Baron Nashor's going to spawn up. Flirt's just trying to hit that level 18 mark as quick as possible, but Akers does have ultimate. In comes the ultimate, as it does land onto Bartiono. He is just melted. The True Shot Barrage tickles Darkspawn, and in comes the rest of the team. A knock-off onto 2 members, and the Whirling Death is huge for the moment. Scudgy does have the Requiem, and they're going to pull him in. Down goes PFI, and the chase is on. Flirt's still doing so much damage over the walls, and healing up for so much HP, as Jakamaka is dancing around on the edge of the fight, dodges away on the Scat of the Week, and Notorious is stepping in, but it's Akers takes literally no damage here as Notorious is going to lose his shield. Beely's taking a big chunk of HP onto him as well, so he is going low, but Flirt, full HP on the Draven, and he's feeling comfortable. The minions are onto the towers already, and a flash forward in the standard side. Camille goes gone, a flip comes back, but in goes Flirt, and Flirt's low. Jakamaka manages to get the kill, and Beely is looking to run away. Barrage are not down and out yet, as Akers is trying to take the inhibitor absolutely desperately. The True Shot Barrage clips onto Free, and Bartiono is going to throw down the damage as Akers takes down the inhibitor, uses the ultimate Summoner's Drift, baby, and he is out of there!
What a play! I thought things were looking so bad for Darkspawn, and not only does Akers get the inhibitor, but he gets out.
Why is that Beely on the bottom of my screen and not Notorious?
You mean Akers?
Akers, whatever.
Beely's just cheering for his teammate, that's all I can say. I mean, constantly there were just these massive plays coming out from Darkspawn, because that looked dire. As soon as Player went down, I really thought that might have been it. They take the rest of them, they take Baron in the end. But crucially, Akers buys so much time. Still though, 10 seconds on this Draven. Barrage know he's down. They want to make an impression here. However, no mana on Jakamaka is going to make things dire.
PFI's already done this once today in this game. Can he do it again? Bartiono's taking a serious chunk of HP, and it looks like Fastleg and the rest of the team are making their way in. Flirt does have the Whirling Death, but he's not with the team quite yet. The Blood Rush is on, and PFI is going to go over. This time they're throwing him out, and they're going to take it down, as the Lantern is going to be enough. That's going to be Barrage with the Baron. Akers unable to find himself an opening. The Whirling Death does connect onto Scudzy. Half health him.
Akers is TP into the base. They're just trying to stop the recalls.
Oh, he's inside the base, but Notorious is there. I don't think they can actually close right now, because the rest of the team are collapsing in, and Fastleg...
They're going to take this inhibitor top while I deal with the minions. I mean, he's going to die anyway. Don't think Akers is getting out this time. Actually, buys time with a stop, but she might survive. He's got a lot of HP to work through. Jakamaka's trying to chunk him out, but Flirt and Fastleg are making their way in. Akers, once again, stays alive. And this man's unkillable. Just will not die. See, Barrage trying to get some space with the Baron buff, but 3 waves of supers is going to be problematic. This game is on a knife's edge.
You can tell how badly both of these teams want to make it out of the round of 8. They want to prove all of the critics wrong, as the True Shot Barrage onto Beely is massive.
He has stopwatch.
Down comes the Requiem, but he does have stopwatch, like you said, but Notorious still going to chase him up. Takes him down, as Camille's going to be able to get it. PFI is running away. Flirt's trying to get the damage out to the standard side. Onto Notorious there. Oh, Fear Beyond Death goes a little bit wide. A 2K crit, by the way, at the bottom of your screen onto the red buff. Draven's terrifying.
Right, there is now some space given to Barrage. They can push the waves out, they have the Baron, but I don't really think they can get anything. Darkspawn just need to wait for Beely to respawn, but what a back and forth. Issue is that big shutdown from Draven earlier went straight into Jakamaka's pocket, and any extra goal on this Draven does nothing. He's full build. I'd wonder if he wants to swap an item out at this point, because a lot of them may not be doing anything.
What would you swap out, though?
I'd potentially swap out the Maw for Phantom Dancer, more sustained damage. You still have the shield. If you're really ambitious,
it's a 900 shield at this point.
If you're really ambitious, swap the boots out for something like an Essence Reaver. You'd have 100% crit and the extra CDR.
He's only on about 50 at the moment.
Yeah, so if you've got the Phantom Dancer and the Essence Reaver. So swap the boots for the Essence Reaver and the Maw for the Phantom Dancer. But it looks like he's just going to stick with his build. Happy with it for now. But that means all that extra gold going in his pocket is worthless. And the big contrast is look how he's full items, and then look at Beely. Still doesn't have a Rabadons, still hasn't finished that morale. That's not a good situation to be in, and it shows in these team fights his presence is so less significant than this Draven's.
Now 50 seconds until this Elder Drake is spawning here, and it will be a double length Elder Drake if Darkspawn can get their hands on it, so it'll be a nice one for them.
Interesting build coming out from Jakamaka. we do see people opting towards the AP heavy build, especially when there's a lot of squishies in the team. But I'm not sure about you, Jake. I don't think those champions, the Scion and the Sejuani, are very squishy.
I like Purple Girl in the mid, though. Syndra.
Yeah, but...
these ults have almost one-shot her.
Sure.
If you have a death cap, you one-shot Beely. There's no...
I guess there's that argument. They are literally... Their strategy is kill Beely and hope for the best. But it does mean they're going to very much struggle to cut through these frontline tanks because the sustained damage from Jakamaka is not going to be there.
Well, looks like Barrage are actually looking to chase up here. This is the Infernal Drake. Sorry, Elder Drake. It's big Infernal Drake. Looking to get taken out.
Crucially,
the tanks are eating the shock blast here for the team.
This will be the second for Darkspawn. If they get this, it will be huge. Your second Elder Dragon, way more powerful, lasts a lot longer. Barrage need to secure this one, or they give away so much.
Orcs, we have a 45-minute game on our hands, and this is the closest game we've seen so far. Scout of the Week does land on the Scudsy, but not going to be able to chase up for more as Akkers and PFI with their Warmogs are making sure they tank up all the damage here.
Sit like this?
They're just trying to burn through the mana, but Jakamaka has 2 tier items. Like, he is not losing mana for a long time.
Double Ocean on the other side. Oh, they do
that's going to be a hook onto Artorias. The chunk is there. The damage is coming out by Flirt. He's going to get picked up by Bartiono. It takes him down. Fastlight gets it. The Whirling Death is coming through, and Bartiono is going to be a victim. Beely with a massive stun and a big cash in comes forward, but the Requiem's coming down. Beely goes golden, and nobody on Darkspawn has died. A massive team fight for Darkspawn, and it might just be able to end. The death timers are almost a minute at this point.
Look at top lane. There's minions over there, but Cromel goes to the big play.
Take the skies. Does have a GA as he gets instantly chunked out. Jakamaka is dancing on the edge of the fight, but Flirt will pop the GA for the moment. Akkers makes sure that not a single Q is going to land, and down goes Cromel. Jakamaka is the only one who stands, and he doesn't have the damage to cut through the tanks. Maybe through Beely, maybe through Flirt, but the rest of the team are still going to be able to get onto the Nexus. The Nexus is already on 1/3 HP, and Barrage have no one to defend. Jakamaka is behind the team, doesn't have True Shot Barrage. The Nexus goes down, and Darkspawn in a slugfest come out on top.
And what a close game. I mean, we said it would be close, but I don't think either of us could have expected that. That was tooth and nail throughout the entire thing. And I think in the end, it came down to Darkspawn got that front-to-back team fight. They didn't get the backline access, and Flirt just cut through everyone.
Flirt was just ripping through them. So much damage on that Draven. I kind of hope we can see the damage charts. I don't think we have that option, unfortunately. But, I mean, so big from them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just huge plays coming out from Darkspawn. And I got to give a lot of credit to PFI. That Baron steal was the reason they are still in the game. Is the reason they won this game, because they didn't get that. And he will end up getting the MVP despite the great performance from Flirt. He did a lot of
I think it's well earned.
Yeah, he did a lot of good right-clicking, but he wouldn't have had the opportunity to do that if it wasn't for PFI's Baron steal.
I think also if you look at Fastlegged as well with that incredible lantern in the base when actually he would have died, they would have maybe got Baron, and Barrage maybe could have closed that game out.
It just shows how close it is. There were so many crucial things.
Just little micro mistakes
that could have made a difference. And that's why it must feel so bad for Barrage looking back at this game and thinking, what if we'd gotten that tiny bit more damage, that little bit better play, we could have won this game, we could have got through the round of 8, but they didn't. And Darkspawn will go ahead.
Yeah, they will be making their way forward into the next round of 8. Obviously, there'll be a draw show at the end of the day, and we'll be finding out who's playing who. So Darkspawn definitely going to be watching with bated breath for the rest of the show to see who they take on. I'm pretty excited to see this team now as we move on, because Flirt on the Draven is now being proven as a pocket pick that he's capable of playing.
I don't think we'll see it again.
I think we have questions, though, towards Beely. He mispositioned quite a lot in that game. He got caught out quite a lot in that game, and it was...
I think in his defense, I will say, it's not a nice composition to play the Syndra into. And they very much... Their game plan was try and kill the Syndra because there's too much sustain on the Draven. But I will say it wasn't the best game I've seen from him. I do want to see him bounce back for the next round. But PFI, even in the game they lost last week, I thought he was the best performer. In this game, that Baron steal and just a solid all-round performance, he was the one looking for engages, finding those glacial prisons. Huge plays.
I mean, PFI came up big and he did get that MVP, but like we said, if there is anyone coming out of that game that you think is maybe an unsung hero, use the hashtag UKLC to let us know who you think should be that unsung hero, and then later on at the end of the day, we will put a vote up on Twitter for our top 4 unsung heroes, and we'll announce that at the beginning of tomorrow. But we're going to go to a quick break, and when we're back, Phelan will be taking on Eminem, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second.